Hello, my name is Pranav. Today we're going to be learning about the functions of the organelles in the cell. Let's remind ourselves that the organelles are basically the, the things inside the cell, like for example, the nucleus, ribosome, mitochondria, those stuff. Okay, they're things within these cells. That's the simplest definition you can have. Okay. Now, here's the cell image. Now, today, when we're going to be talking about the cells, we should firstly understand that there's a difference between a plant cell and the animal cell. Well, there are three differences. First, the plant cell, it has a chloroplast. It has a cell wall, not a. It also has a cell membrane, but the animal cell doesn't have a cell wall. And the plant cell also has a larger vacuole. Okay, so and the animal cell, it has a vacuole, but it's very small compared to this. Okay, those are the three differences. Okay, so now what is the nucleus? Just here's the intern definition, but you don't have to really memorize this or anything because it's quite simple. The function of a nucleus is just like a headquarters. You know, like think of like how for an atom, in the center there's the nucleus. You know, the nucleus is like in the center. The nucleus tells what the cell to do. It's just a command center. That's all. That's all you need to know. It contains our DNA and all that stuff. Okay. The mitochondria basically is another organelle that's within our cell, and this organelle creates energy. Now, energy in biology is often referred like in cells is referred as ATP. So be sure to remember that. Okay. Uh, a simple way to remember mitochondria is just the powerhouse of a cell. It generates power for the cell. That's all. Okay. Um. Next. Okay. Now you might be wondering what's the difference between a cell membrane and a cell wall. Okay. So cell membrane and cell wall, they have the same purpose. It is to defend foreign substances that like can damage the cell. Okay, that's all. Now the difference between them is that the cell membrane is more. It's more. It's not that. It doesn't have a definite shape. But a cell wall is more rigid. It has a more fixed structure, as you can see. If you compare this and that, you can see that this has more like a fixed structure, while the animal cell is more like a circle-like structure, but then it's not exactly a perfect circle. It doesn't have a rigid wall cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane is not rigid compared to cell wall. Now there's the. I also talked about the vacuole. Basically, the vacuole's purpose is to store like water and waste. Okay, and yeah, plants have like a larger vacuole, and animals have a smaller vacuole. And there's another thing I also talked about, which was the chloroplast. Now, the chloroplast is something that's very important for a process known as photosynthesis. Uh, I'm sure that you have heard of this term, or maybe you maybe even know this. So basically, photosynthesis is like a process which plants use to generate food, which they call glucose. So the ingredients they use for photosynthesis is sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. And and the chloroplast, the part it plays is that the chloroplast is the kitchen, right? You gather up the ingredients, and it comes to the chloroplast, and that's where the food or the glucose is being made. Okay, and now why is this good? Well, well, um, one of the reasons why people say do not cut down trees and plants is or burn them is because they have something. They make something for us that we need to live. They take in the substance that we don't need, which is carbon dioxide. We breathe it out. They take in that in exchange for oxygen. They they take in carbon dioxide and they let out oxygen. So um, the end products of photosynthesis is glucose, which is fed to the plant, and oxygen, which we breathe in. So make sure to you know take care of plants. Don't just like destroy them. They're very important for our survival. These are things that are keeping us alive. They're also generating food for us and keeping us alive. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.